And in the rain, what's
where's the shovel at? Who did this?
Bear!
What?
You need the shovel?
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's too wet to have a hole over here. We gotta build this thing up off the ground.
Hey guys, Jesse with Texas Bushcraft. It's Friday. We're at actually the gathering hasn't started. It'll start tomorrow. It is raining cats and dogs out here. We got a team working on a fire. And somebody is calling me right now.
Somebody's calling me too.
I gotta go.
Stop that shit in there.
No, I wouldn't make no one go.
Hey guys, Jesse with Texas Bushcraft.
I'm
under my tarp. Everyone else isn't. I'm soaked.
Make sure you explain on the site what we did in the downpour.
Well, you saw a little bit of it. It's been pouring down rain for the last 45 minutes, 30 minutes. And we had a full team out here getting this fire going. We had somebody sawing the wood, batoning the wood, splitting the wood into smaller stuff. Made some shavings, a few small fire sticks. And right now, the fire is roaring.
I'm glad someone else is operating that saw. I ain't got the back for it.
Back to you later.
35? 30 carries.
We got both now.
Either 45,
It's hot here.
35.
Yeah. Favorite part of the catfish right
Is that the tail?
Mm-hmm.
I'm half tempted to try your fish eggs.
You eat them raw, they'll grow in your stomach.
Is that right?
I can guarantee you they're not raw.
How you know I don't want baby catfish in my stomach?
Because they got fins.
They do have fins.
Yeah. Those barbs hurt.
They might not feel too good coming up there.
Alright, so
Where'd Mike go?
the basic, there's two different leaves basically. There's two different kinds of leaves. So the first one is just a leaf like you would expect. The blade's not divided whatsoever. Okay, it's called simple. And so that's obviously a leaf, right? So this is a little less obvious. This is a pecan leaf, and the blade is divided. This whole thing is a leaf. Okay, this whole thing. So when it's like this, it's called compound. So you know it's a leaf because if you look on the stem where it was growing, this isn't the actual stem, but if you were to, there's a little leaf bud there for next year's leaf, okay, right on the stem. So you know the whole thing's a leaf. And it's also a different color than the stem. So compound and simple. So I'm going to be quizzing y'all a little bit on our walk, and I hope you brought your Scantron forms. No, I'm just kidding. This is a really cool little shrub, by the way, I'm covering woody and non-woody plants. The book's on non-woody plants, but they're, I'm covering both since they're all out here. And I'll do it. A second book's going to come out in a few years on woody plants. It's going to cover the woody vines, shrubs, and trees like wild grapes, the lower trees, and the big trees that produce the fruits and nuts. All right, so this is common elder, also called American elder. This is what makes elderberries. Okay, that's what you hear about sometimes, elderberries. Now the whole thing, most of it is toxic, so you can't just be eating the leaves and stuff like that. It only has two edible parts, and the edible parts are these flowers, which you have to actually cut the flower head off, and you can make fritters out of them. So you coat them with some kind of flour and deep fry them, and they make fritters. So what's called fritters. Okay, you can eat them like that.
What counts as the flower head?
What's that? So you would cut it off about right there. Okay. And that's fine.
So that whole thing's edible?
Yeah, just go ahead and fry it, and with some kind of, you can use batter or not, it doesn't matter. Makes fritters, okay? If you leave it on here, it'll form these little black berries called elderberries. And you can eat them raw, they're not that great raw, or you can dry them out in the sun and they get sweeter. So it's your choice, but they're very good for you. They're highly medicinal too. They have antiviral properties, so it helps you keep from getting viruses, and you can make medicines out of them, like tinctures and teas and all kinds of stuff. So, but it's good to just eat them too. It's good for your immune system. So yeah, so you can also make pies out of the blackberries, elderberries. My dad used to do that in Michigan. So elderberry. Remember though, the rest of it's toxic. Another cool thing about it, these stems are hollow, so you can make pipe stems out of it, makeshift pipes. So it works great for that. Kids used to make little blowguns out of them, stuff like that. But again, the only edible parts are in the spring and early summer, the white flowers and the dark, tiny little berry. But if you look closely, there's some differences. So the leaves, like I showed y'all up there, the leaves are compound like pecans, but the leaflets don't really have teeth. You see that? Unlike pecan leaves do have little teeth. So this is western soapberry, and I'll tell you about the use in just a minute. But someone tell me, are the leaves alternate or opposite, real quick? Are they alternate? Look at this twig right here.
They're opposite.
Look closely.
Both?
Look
Oh, no,
right.
they're alternate.
Alternate?
Alternate.
They're alternate.
They seem to be spiraling down.
Yeah, so they're alternate. Now, sometimes they will be a little close to being opposite, but look at the general pattern, all of them. So they're alternate, compound. The leaflets are not toothed usually. And again, the leaflets don't completely match up. That's real common western soapberry. Okay, the use of it. It's not really edible to my knowledge, but you can take the berries in the summer and fall and smash them up in like a pounding basin or just on a stump with a rock or a stick, and you'll start separating the outside from the seed. Everything will be smashed up. Add a little bit of water to that and squeeze it, and you'll get a sudsy soap. All right, you can use that for skin wash or shampoo to wash your clothes. So that's why they call it western soapberry. And the berries are pretty much available from summer through winter, but right now they're all fallen. They look
berries?
What's that?
What color?
The berries are like a dark yellow. Yeah, they look very similar to China berries, but they look more translucent.
They have a black seed, right?
Yes,
through 'em
they have
into the
you can
seed.
see through them to the seed, the black seed, exactly. And so good for soap. Y'all should remember that, because
Are they non-toxic?
and they're not gonna. I mean, they're non-toxic for you to use for soap, but I don't know about eating. All right. In case you don't know what poison ivy looks like, I know some of you do. We have it right here. Okay, poison ivy, by the way, can take all kinds of different forms. It can be a ground cover, it can be a vine, or it can be a shrub. It's all the same species. For a long time, experts argued over different species and stuff like that, but now they group it all as one species because it's the same plant. So it can be a lot of different forms. Every form, though, has 3 leaflets per leaf. Okay, so it's pretty easy to identify usually. So 3 leaflets per leaf.
Giant ragweed right there.
So it has, yeah, there's some giant ragweed right by it. Giant ragweed right here, and I'm gonna actually talk about it when I get right up there. But you need to be watching for that anytime you're out in nature, you know, in Texas, because we have it all over the state. And it can sneak up on you. It can grow on trees and look like a branch, and then you can, you know, easily brush up against it. If you brush up against it, you're gonna get a rash unless you're immune to it. Some people are, but if you brush up against it, you're gonna get a rash that will last for 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, and you just need to keep washing that with soap. So it's a real pain in the butt, but for me, it's an occupational hazard. But I try to avoid it. Not only if you touch the leaves, but in the winter, if you cut the stems and the sap gets on you, it'll do the same thing. Okay? So you need to learn to identify plants at different times of the year too. And don't burn it, because the oil can become in the smoke and get on you, and you can inhale it, and bad things will happen.